5.2c is domain and range from a graph, which we've done before, but we're going to mix up the discrete and the continuous domains. Okay, so for each of these graphs, we're going to identify them as discrete, which is something that can be, the domain and range can be listed as points, or continuous, where the graph would be connected. And then we're going to find the domain and range. The discrete domain and range can be written as a list. If it's continuous, the domain and range are going to be written in interval notation. So let's go ahead and look at this first graph. This first graph has 1, 2, 3, 4 points. They are not connected at all, so this is a discrete function. The domain is the x coordinates. If you can get it just by looking at the graph and matching up the points, you can make the list from there. If you would rather write the ordered pairs, you can write the ordered pairs. I'm going to go ahead and label them for people who like to label them. Okay, if you label them, then the x coordinates, the -3, the -1, the 1, and the 3 are your domain. And then the range is the y coordinates in order, so -2, 0, 2, and 4. Okay, pause the video and then try number 2. Unpause it when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, number 2 is also a discrete function. The domain is -3, -1, 1, and 3, and you can use the curly brackets on it if you would like. You can also omit them if you prefer. The range is -3, and I only write it once because we exclude repeats. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 3, and then I'll have you practice some on your own. Okay, now for number 3, I do see a point here, but it is connected. When it is connected, it's a continuous function. If it's a continuous function, we express our domain and range in interval notation. Domain is the x values. So when I do interval notation, I'm going to look from left to right and then look at their x values. So the furthest left point is this one. The x value here is 2, and it's an open circle. So I do a parentheses. The furthest right point is way over here. The x coordinate of that point is 4, and because it's a closed circle, I use a bracket. Range is the y values. So in the y direction, I'm going to look for the lowest and highest y value for interval notation. The lowest point on the graph is this point right here. The y value at that point is 1, and it's an open circle, so I'll use a parenthesis. The highest point on the graph is way up here, and the y value of that point is 5. Because it's a closed circle, I use a bracket. Okay, try number 4, pause the video, and then when you're ready to check your answer, unpause. Okay, 4 was also continuous. Domain, -4 with a bracket to 2 with a bracket because of the closed circles. The range, 1 to 2, 2 closed circles, so bracket and bracket. Okay, turn the page. Okay, go ahead and try 5 and 6. Pause the video, and then when you're ready to check, unpause. Okay, check your answers for 5 and 6. For 5, it's continuous because it's connected. The domain is from -3, parenthesis, because of the open circle, to 1, parenthesis. The range, lowest is y is -4, but it's open, so parenthesis. The highest is y is 2, parenthesis. 6, also continuous. It's connected and it actually keeps going forever. Domain, I'm in the x direction, -3, 2, arrow. The arrow means infinity, and it's a parenthesis and a parenthesis because of the open circle and because infinity is always a parenthesis. For the range, the lowest point is this one. The y value here is 2, and it's open, so it's a parenthesis. The highest point is up here, but this is actually an arrow, so it keeps going up forever. So it's infinite, and I use a parenthesis on infinity. Okay, 7, continuous. The furthest left point is over here. That's -4, and it's an open circle. The furthest right is way over here. The x coordinate there is 4, and it is an open circle at x is 4. In the y direction, the very lowest point is this one here. The y value of that point is -3, and it's open. The very highest point on the graph is way up here. The y value of that point is 4, and it is a bracket because the graph is actually passing through the 4. There's not an open circle. Just because the point is not darkened, it doesn't mean it's not there. It is there. Okay, if you want to do it on your own, pause the video. If you want to do it with me, keep playing. Okay, this is still continuous. Domain is the x's. So in the x direction, furthest left is here, which is -1, -2, -3, and it's open. Furthest right is going to be this arrow. Arrows are infinite, so it's going towards positive infinity. Further range, range is the y value, is the lowest point on this graph, is way down here, but that's not actually a point, it's an arrow. So this is a down arrow, negative infinity. Parenthesis because it's infinite. The highest point on the graph is this point up here. The y value at that point is 1, 2. 2, and it's open. Okay, if you want to try 9 and 10 on your own, pause the video. Okay, 9 is continuous. Domain is x's, so from left to right. On the left, I have a left arrow, which is a negative infinity, and I use parentheses because it's infinite. On the furthest right, I have a right arrow, which is positive infinity, and I also use parentheses because it's infinite. Further range, the lowest point is here. The y value of that point is 0, and because it does touch that point, it is a bracket. The highest point on the graph is either this arrow or this arrow, but they're both infinite, so 0, infinite. Okay, for 10, continuous, because this is a connected, it's actually a ray, but it's connected. Okay, domain, x, left to right. The furthest left is over here. This is a arrow, left arrow, negative infinity, parenthesis. The furthest right is this point over here. The x value of that point is 1, 2. And it's a closed circle. For the range, the lowest y value is going to be from this point, and this point has -1, -2, -3, -4. Y is -4, and it's closed. The highest point is this one, but that's actually an arrow, so it's going up, so it's positive infinity. Okay, try 11 and 12. Pause the video, check your answer when you're ready. Okay, this is continuous. On the left, left arrow, negative infinity. On the right, right arrow, positive infinity. For the range, lowest to highest, lowest y value, highest. Lowest y value, down arrow, negative infinity. Highest y value, up arrow, positive infinity. Okay, 12 is also continuous because it's connected. This makes a kind of a parabolic shape. Okay, domain left to right. Left, here. The x is -2, open circle. On the right, arrow, infinity. In the y direction for the range, the lowest point on the graph is down here. The y value here is -3, and it's a bracket because the graph does pass through that point. The highest point on the graph is this up arrow, which is infinity. Okay, for 13, 14, 15, 16, you're going to create your own linear function. When it says linear function, it just means it's going to be a line. With the indicated domain and range, so when you're done sketching it, you have to make sure that it follows the rules for the domain and for the range. Okay, if you want to kind of make some guesses, you can probably start to figure out. Go ahead and pause the video and try to figure it out. Okay, if you have, I'm going to give you some hints if you're having trouble figuring it out. Okay, now I know the domain is from 1 to 5, and I know it's got to be an open circle at the x is 1 and the x is 5. Now for the range, it goes from 3 to 4. So there should be an open circle at y is 3 and y is 4. So one way I could do it is I can say, well, there's going to be an open circle at x is 1 and an open circle at y is 3. So at 1, 3, I'm just going to go ahead and put an open circle. Since it's open circle at x is 5 and y is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go ahead and put an open circle here. Because it's a linear function, it's a line. And it was continuous because it was expressed in interval notation. Okay, once you've drawn it, double check that it works because sometimes you'll be a little off and you can make it adjustments. Okay, domain is 1 to 5. So domain is 1 to 5, open, open. The range, 3 to 4, open, open. So that works. Now this is not the only possibility. So if you wrote that, don't erase it. But I could have also done a little different because, let's see, let me erase my graph too. Okay, now it's open at x is 1, but it's also open at y is 4. So maybe I'll say I want my graph to start at 1, 4. 1, 4, open. When x is 5, it's open. Y is 3 is also open. So from 5 to 3, it's linear. So I'll draw a line. And let me double check and make sure this also works. Domain 1 to 5. 1 to 5, open, open. Range 3 to 4. 3 to 4, open, open. So this one also works. Okay, go ahead and try 14. Okay, hopefully you got it. If you didn't give it, I'll give you a hint. Okay, at x is -5, it's a closed circle because of the bracket. At y is 1, it's also going to be a closed circle because of the graph, the bracket. So -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y is 1. I'm going to put a closed circle. At x is -2 and y is 4, there's going to be an open circle. -2, 1, 2, 3, 4 is down here. Okay, I'm going to draw a line because it's a linear function, and then I'm going to double check that this is correct. So domain -5, -2, -5 closed, -2 open. Good. Range 1 to 4. Oh, I made a mistake because I went to -4. Let me fix that. That's why you double check. Okay, so let's see, which one did I mess up on? The open circle. So -2, +4. 1, 2. +4 is up here, and that's going to be open. Okay, let me draw my linear function again and check it again. Okay, I'm going to check the domain again. -5, closed, -2, open. Range 1, closed, 4, open. Okay, I caught my mistake, and this works for a function. Okay, if you want to try 15, 16 on your own, go ahead, pause. If you don't, I'll go over it. Okay, let's see. At x is -4, it should be open. But at y is -3, it's supposed to be closed, so that's not going to work out. But at y is 2, it is also open, so I'm going to make, at x is -4 and y is 2, I'm going to go ahead and put an open circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, +2 is up here. Okay, now at x is 1 and y is -3, it's a closed circle. So x is 1, y is 1, 2. -3 is a closed circle. It's a linear function, so I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to double check that this is correct. Domain -4, open, 1 closed. Range -3, closed, 2 open. I'm good. Okay, last one. Oh, this one only has one number, so let's look at this. So at x is 1, it's open, but at y is -2, it's also open. So I'll start with that. So x is 1, y is -2 is down here. It's going to be an open circle. Okay, the domain +infinity, so it's going to go to the right. Range +infinity, so it's going to go up. So from this point, I'm going to go kind of to the right and kind of up. Something like this, up and right. Okay, let me check this. My domain, 1, open, infinity, arrow. Range, -2, open, infinity, up arrow.